Good afternoon. This is John G. Presco coming to you March 24th. It's actually Marilyn's birthday today. Happy birthday, Marilyn. Um, 3:08 p.m. Well, I had a session with my therapist earlier today, Barbara, and then afterwards I started calling some attorneys, and I've talked actually to two receptionists, not to an attorney uh, in person. I had one referral from the Oregon Bar. I haven't called that person yet. I'm gonna really need someone who handles, I don't know, triple A lawsuits, such as the one I want to bring against the Oregon Family Council. These people, and they aren't guilty of enticement, which is a legal term. Um, they have a hidden agenda and a goal, and the reason why they send people running for office this questionnaire, and to have someone have to guess at it, what they're up to, what why they want this information from you, why anyone has to guess whether this is a religious body. It's not a secular body. It's a religious organization disguised as a secular organization. They're straddling the fence. They feel that they have the right to do this. They believe that in Christian nationalism, Christian rule, where the church is that much above the secular state, and therefore, if people are dealing on their level, such as the flocks that go to their churches, you understand all the signals, the secret hand sign, and they work it out. And they laugh about it at church. I've seen it. They work out this intricate coding. And they get it down to, you know, I don't know, 12 questions and answers for each disciple. I laugh, but it's not funny. It's insidious. So if you're with these people and you're a member of the flock and you're in the peanut gallery and you go to church, put money and checks in the basket and stuff, and you're for anything they do. Hey, you want to invade Ukraine? Hey, I'm aboard. Can I write you a check for the Ukraine invasion? How about Poland? You're going to go to Poland? Oh, sure. The Poland check. You know, the Poland crusade. Okay, all right. I'm on for that. See, but you want to know if other politicians are aboard. Are you for or are you against? See, for or against. See? And that's what the questionnaire is designed. So the flock, the believers, can recognize if you're one of them or not. See, and more voters will use this answer form to identify me than secular people. Secular people are not going to go look at this and say, I wonder if he's a right-wing Christian. I know. I'll go look at the uh, Oregon Council of Family site to see what his answers are. Oh my gosh, he's one of them. He's an evangelical, end-time, pro-life abortion bomber. Oh yeah, I'm not voting for that person. See, that's very divisive. And as planned, uh, Christianity used to contain this all in their churches in America, not like what they did in Europe. A lot of these castles were built to protect uh, royalty from their cousins who have a different religious belief. So there was a lot of war of the religions, so that didn't happen in America for a while, and now it's back. And they took our podium, secular podiums, and established their church within the Republican Party, and uh, they are very, very nice to people who believe in them and give them checks and vote for their candidates. But if very, very evil to people who are not one of them and who are considered the enemy and on Satan's side, blah, blah, blah. So I was just listening to Gavin Newsom live on the grounds of Napa Mental Hospital, where my daughter's mother worked for many years, taking care of the basket cases. And we were talking about people that were born with severe physical, mental disabilities, were made them had to take care of them completely, like babies. So he came up with this care court. The governor of California, and they're going to be dealing with some of the hardcore mental illness cases of the homeless people and help get them some help without severe incarceration. My girlfriend and Sue Viliani, Christine's good friend, was incarcerated and given shock treatment. And so Gavin Newsom was talking about there's a room up there where you can watch lobotomies. They had a glassed-in viewing balcony looking down upon the operating table where patients were given lobotomies. And of course, my mother was invited to come and stay for a few years at Camarillo State Hospital. She called it given a scholarship, and she knew the the family that had the lima bean fields there. So what does this have to do with my therapist? I told Barbara, I said, we're at the point here now, what we're going to be looking at is where our sessions and our relationship as therapist-patient is now historic. I believe it's taking a historic turn. I talked about Ludwig Wittgenstein, his interest in Norbert Davis, who was a friend of my grandparents, and he's with them on St. Croix Island, one of the Atacama Islands, on a camping trip. He's got holding his gun next to my grandmother. I said, look him up. And I read parts of Rena's letter, and I was quite moved by it. I was in tears, actually, as I read her plight with mental illness. She was a very, very physically beautiful woman and a very bright woman who was an A+ student, who skipped a grade. And she talks about memorizing 1 million poems and judging how good her day is going by if she misses a word. Like she's vacuuming, reciting poems. And I believe she's doing this aloud, alone, in I think some office building in Bozeman that her boss has a contract to clean. I think she maybe goes in there after hours, or did, and she's vacuuming and reciting some of the 1 million poems that she's committed to memory. And I'm reading this to Barbara. I'm in tears. She talks about how afraid she's been most of her life, and she talks about working at St. Vinny's when she went to dance in the Royal Ballet, and she was married to Admiral Easton, the British Defense Staff. I told Barbara that this letter it was a powerful inspiration for my James Bond book, The Royal Janitor. I talked about Miriam Starfish and Victoria Bond going on that plane back to Russia. They were disguised as Russian spies being kicked out of the United States. It was all a charade. So history has caught up with me in a way that's pretty amazing. Talk about the hidden enlightened one, the Zadok, and I really looked at the idea that Rena might be the first female Zadok, one of the 36 enlightened people on the planet at one time. I talked about how beautiful and creative and intelligent we were, and how this was oppressed by people around us, especially the primary alcoholic or alcoholics in the family. So I asked Barbara to look up ACOA. But it was this decision I was going through for almost a week about laying on her the idea that our relationship is now a famous one, and not just because I'm running for the governor of Oregon, but because of the literary history and history of mental illness, my mental illness, and the people around me. And now that's, right, like our session ended around 4:50, and then I got on the telephone and talked to a couple of attorney receptionists and stuff about suing the Oregon Family Council. But last night I talked to Barbara about all the legal papers I wrote up and sent off in regards to my sister's literary and artistic estate that was sold to outsiders with permission for them to write a book about our family. And I informed the executor that I was already writing that book and it's copyrighted, and he ignored that to the detriment of my whole family and to me and to my mental health. So I really need a big shot attorney, constitutional attorney. I've been saying messages and that I believe Article 6 of the Constitution has been violated by Oregon Family Council by sending me this questionnaire, which I discussed. And all of a sudden, boom, I see on my Facebook, KTVU is live now. And so I clicked on it, and there's Gavin Newsom, the city council, and all these people in the mental health community standing on this lawn in front of the old Napa building. It was quite like, oh, okay, I get it now. This is where this famous idea comes in, because things are happening now. I'm coming out of this mental illness prison that I was put in by my abusive parents and siblings. And the abuse of Rena was very, very devastating to me. So I'm going to be trying, as governor, I'm going to, if I become the governor of Oregon, I'm going to try to get this called Court Care, COURT care program up here. It looks like it might have been inspired by okay, move on. Can't remember that some of the programs up here that Oregon's implemented. Now this abuse, mental illness, the abuse of drugs and being mentally ill, something that I've been close with, and I want to even get closer. My experiences on a personal level, my studying and being in therapy, admitting that I have a problem that needs, to be care. It needs care. I need mental health care, period. And I've admitted that. And I shouldn't be punished as I have for admitting that. I don't think I'm going to become your governor. If I do, then maybe you can feel free to assemble a board of examiners. Bring on your 6 best psychologists in the state, and I'll testify before them. They can judge me. But I don't think I will be your new governor, but I'm going to be in the loop from now on. I'm going to be doing more to make sure that good things happen to all people who deserve good things to happen to. And people who are mentally on the street are qualified. Their religious beliefs, or whether they're performing voodoo hexes in the street, or are they in league with Satan? It doesn't apply. I believe that secular society can be extremely merciful. And at the beginning of this news conference, they talked about Reagan signing this bill, releasing all the mentally ill from the mental hospitals. And I was living in Berkeley at the time when this happened. And you noticed all of a sudden there's all these crazy, very, very mentally ill, homeless people going through the garbage and eating food out of the garbage. I'm going, where do these people come from? And I believe that was a very, very, very cynical law that Reagan and the right wing passed to have these people be in the street and say, well, look what happened to the hippie movement. There they are. I believe it was a cultural warfare move. And I believe Gavin Newsom and other people who take care of the mentally ill believe that was a much vicious action by so-called right-wing Republican Christians to use the homeless and mentally ill, and the mentally ill, make them homeless and use them as a political weapon. All right. A lot happening. So I'm going to maybe try to make a few more contacts with an attorney, and I'll talk to you again. All right. Have a good day.